Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Bahawa Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Double honors, honors to you brothers out there pushing this word out in truth, sincerity, enduring afflictions as a good soldier of Yahushai. All right, so this is it's an article that I have, and this lesson was inspiration was inspired off me meditating upon certain situations that I've been in, dealing with people. You know, my job, I deal with people, I talk to people, and seeing the condition of these average everyday Americans. You know, I come in contact with certain people from different walks of lives, whether they be foreigners, homeborn here in America, Edomites, Ishmaelites, you know, Moabites, Ammonites, you know, all walks of life, and them being here in America, there's one thing in common, that they're stressed out. And the main reason why they're stressed out is because of their work, because they're working too much. All right, the job is very so-called important to them, and they're willing to go above and beyond to be slaves, because they feel that that's part of American culture, is to work. Since you were a young kid, you always been taught to go to school to do what? So you can get a good job. And really, who's benefiting off of your labors is the corporations. And if you know anything about that, pretty much the elite bankers. All right, they're working you to death, and they're reaping the benefit while your body is being broken down. All right, and I was meditating upon that. Not only you working all these goddamn hours in a year, in a month, in a week, that plays heavy stress on your mind, all right, on your body. And the number one cause of death really is stress. That's really what it comes down to. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this article, and it's gonna kind of go into it, and then I'm gonna get the scriptures, because everything lines up with the scriptures. This is all prophetic. That in these last days, these people, so-called industrialized civilizations, right when so-called industrialized civilizations start popping up, massive amount of diseases, massive amount of confusion. Okay, this really is slave culture, and it's only befitting that Americans will work so much, because this land was actually founded off of what you would call slave principles, where you work a certain group of people for your benefit, okay, and that goes all the way back to the North American Indians. That goes all the way back to the so-called blacks, the so-called African Americans, okay, and then the Latinos that come up from Central and South America. You see that? So this whole culture of America is all about working you to death. It's about extracting as much possible resources out of you, and then when they're done with you, boom, you get out of here. Even in your death, the government, the so-called system, the beast, makes money off of you. Which the average funeral is what, $7,000. So even putting you in under 6 feet under, they're still taking money from you, so to speak. All right, whether it be out of your accounts, whether it be taken away from the different monies that you give to your loved ones. Okay, so here is a article, and I googled this. I googled this because I was meditating. Damn, these people work. You know, these people don't want to take time off. I'm like, I be telling my clients, man, you need take some time off. I know they're not going to listen. I know they're not going to listen. They're stressed out. They're sick all the time. They don't get enough sleep. They don't even know what a good night's rest is. Even when they go they might go out of overseas for a vacation. They still bring their laptop. They still answering emails. That they pretty much they have no rest. Okay, so this is an article that I googled, and it's in the article is it's from and I'll put the article in the description box. Lord's will, I remember. But pretty much the article names, it says, the U.S. is the most overworked developed nation in the world. We as Americans work too many hours. And this was actually January 2nd, 2018. So this is actually recent. We as Americans work too many hours. If you don't believe so, check out the following data points that compare us to other peers around the world. All right, pretty much the proof is in the pudding. All right, the digital age, the information age, you can find out anything, man. All right, and through experiences dealing with these people, and then confirming it in the spirit and confirming it with the information that's presented, I mean, it makes total sense. American work-life balance. According to the Center of American Progress on the topic of work and family life balance, in the 1960s, only 20% of mothers worked. Today, 70% of American children live in a household where all adults are employed. Now, this goes back into where it talks about the mothers. I believe after 1920, that's when women started to work. You know, so even since then, 1960s, you know, the woman didn't work, man. The woman didn't need a job. All right, because of the money wasn't all messed up. It wasn't inflated. I don't care who stays home and who works in terms of gender. Work opportunity, equality for all is a family choice. Either way, when all adults are working, single or with a partner, there's a huge hit to American family and free time in American households. So this affects not only you, but it also affects your family. All right. The U.S. is the only country in America without a national paid parental leave benefit. The average is over 12 weeks of paid leave anywhere else other than Europe and over 20 weeks in Europe. 0 industrialized nations are without a mandatory option for new parents to take parental leave. That is except for the United States. So pretty much United States, man, you if you're here in the United States working, you're a slave. Whatever tax bracket you fit into. All right, because you have to spend all those hours worrying about whether it's your company or you're taking care of somebody else's company, putting them hours there to complete that work. Okay, at least 134 countries have laws setting the maximum length of work week of the work week. The U.S. does not. All right, that's slave culture. Because ultimately, what is a slave? You take care of their necessities as far as food, raiment. Okay, and what do? They maximize your profits. All right, now there's modern day slavery, where which you are deemed as an employee, which is the same word as the word slave. When you go into the word, they allow you a little bit more freedoms, but you still have that what's it called? You still have that work culture to where you have to put in those hours. You have to put in those hours to actually sustain your living conditions. All right, now you're able to live in a big house, but now you have to have them big high paying jobs to keep up with that mortgage. Okay, and what do you know, man? I just got an alert to pay 2 bills. You know, so you got to keep up, man. You got to keep up because them bills is not gonna they're not gonna go away. In the U.S., 85% of males and 66.5% of females work more than 40 hours per week. Okay, so you're putting in hella hours working, and this doesn't even include transportation. Okay, this does not include commuting. You got some people that commute 3 to 4 hours a day. So really, it goes into you working like 80 to 90 hours per week, man. Okay, whether you're in a car, thinking about your job, catching hell, or then when you get to the office, catching hell. All right. According to the ILO, Americans work 137 more hours per year than Japanese workers, 260 more hours per year than British workers, and 499 more hours per year than French workers. Which all these other nations will call you Americans lazy. No, you Americans are damn slaves. All right, you can't even call Americans lazy. That word does not apply. The proper word would be slaves. All right, because a slave is actually forced to work. And you Americans are forced to work. You're forced to be in the system. You're forced to put in those hours. And then there's a culture to where you're looked down upon if you don't have a job. Or you look down upon if you go a different type of way where you don't want to work. Using data by the US BLS, the average productivity per American worker has increased 400%. Now check this out. Since 1950, so pretty much efficiency of the American workforce has increased over 400% since the 1950s. All right. It says one way to look at this is that it should take only 1/4 the work hours or 11 hours per week to afford the same standard of living as a worker in the 1950s. So now that the efficiency and the productivity of an average American worker, due to technology, due to pretty much making the job more efficient, okay, through all these years since the 1950s, it should only take 1/4. You should only be able to work 11 hours per week and still have the same standard of living, okay? All right, to afford the same standard of living as a worker in 1950, or our standard of living should be 4 times higher. So if you are working 40 hours a week, you should have 4 times as much money. You should have 4 times as much money, and your standard of living should be 4 times as higher, right? Would that not put a smile on your face when you put on them goddamn hours? Is this the case? Obviously not. Someone is profiting. It's just not the average American worker. That's right. It's the big corporations, because you're not profiting the money. If somebody from McDonald's, a cashier, let's say they make $10 an hour, all right, you got an average of 10 people that's working there, all right? How much money is McDonald's making compared to what they have to fork out? All right, they're making 4,000% of their profit, all right, which pretty much means you're a slave. All right, let me come down here, and let me get to the scriptures. The impact of too much working. Now, I was gonna go into a little bit more of the impact of too much working, but it's vast, man. It's very vast. So I'm just gonna kind of stick to this article, all right. And if you want to do more of the research that sparks your mind, go ahead and do it, all right. And you're gonna find that nothing that I'm saying or nothing in this article is lying, or more say nothing that the scriptures are saying are lying, because the scriptures, we're going to get to it, pretty much outline all these things that are happening right now. All right. The impact of too much work. I'm not telling you to work less hours if you genuinely love what you do and are doing it for the right reasons, which nobody loves what they're doing here in America. All right. Unless you're a sodomite, unless you're a perverse person, or you're scamming people. All right. That's the only reason why you will love it. Or you're a total slave. You love being a slave. And the only people that, I'm going to take that back. You do have people that love what they're doing, especially these women and our people. All right, because that's why the scriptures say, is Israel a homeborn slave? Yes, he is. 2/3 of Israelites love being here in America. And they don't find anything wrong with it. They don't find anything wrong with American work culture, which pretty much only sustains you for a low level life. All right, GMO foods, apartments with different cancer-causing substances. Okay, TVs that emit radiation that kill you, phones that emit radiation that kill you. Okay, walking upstairs. All right, no circulation or ventilation inside the house. Okay. So this is, let me read it. I'm not telling you to work less hours if you genuinely love what you do and are doing it for the right reasons. You are more than entitled to spend all of your waking hours plugging away. Yeah, being a goddamn slave. But for many of us, more work leads to more stress and lower quality of life. Lower quality of life, man. Let me get the scripture. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, meaning when the righteous are in a head position and they govern the world, they govern these different countries. So if the righteous were in authority, all right, the work culture in America would be so much better. All right, you wouldn't be number one, it wouldn't be all these goddamn jobs. All right, you will be self-sustaining, and if you did have a job, it'll be completely different from what you have today. But in order for America to sustain, in order for America to be sustained, to have its sustainability, and in a global sense, competing with these different emerging economies, you people got to work like goddamn slaves to provide those services, to provide those goods, to keep the system America running. America is pretty much just keeping itself running by you people plugging into the matrix and digging away, man. The people rejoice. So when there's a righteous nation in rulership, all right, the people are going to rejoice because you're not going to be stressed out. You're going to be able to enjoy your family. All right, you working is not going to be what's it called? How do I want to say this? A burden to you. All right, and just that alone trickles down into so many different things. All right, you can't spend time with your family. So now your children are being raised by outside entities, which they're being indoctrinated. Okay. Your woman, if you have a man and woman, that leads to what? A lot of adultery. You're not by your woman. Your woman has outside spirits dealing with her, outside men. Okay. That leads down to the breakdown of the family system. Okay. And then it puts stress and hell upon you. Which stress, that's the main cause of disease, is stress. Meaning the suppression of your immune system. The suppression of your sympathetic immune system. When you have a rise of insulin, you have a rise of these different growth factors in your body that are only supposed to incite at certain parts of the day, or only when certain times when you're under stress. Well, you're always under stress. So now your body's not able to fight off a common cold. Your body's not able to fight off a disease. So this is a trickle-down effect that you working so much here in America, this slave culture, pretty much there's an all-out attack on your body, man. There's an all-out attack on your spirit. All right, you Israelites. It's really for you Israelites, but now all these nations, they're accustomed to it now. They're accustomed to being slaves. But it says, but when the wicked bear wool, the people mourn. And that's all you hear. That's all I hear is people mourning. Even if they don't vocalize it, they're mourning. You can see it on their face. I'll get to one of my appointments. You can see they're through. Their face be all drooped down. Eyes be red. Look like they just hit a blunt. You know, that what does that breed? That breeds more wickedness because now people are going more into drugs. So now you're starting to see this culture to where people are saying, man, forget this. It's too much hell. Because these millennials, I would say these Generation X Zers, they're pretty much saying, man, f the so-called American way. I'm just gonna be a demon. I'm just gonna live my life. I'm just gonna smoke. I'm just gonna do opioids. I'm just gonna be a perverse because what you're trying to put upon me, that's too much responsibility. The cost of living is rising. Okay, so now even coming out of college, you gotta room up. All right, no longer you can come out of college making 80,000 or have a sustainability to where you can live on your own, so to speak. So the whole structure of America is totally through. It's done. It only makes sense that this place is ready for destruction. Right? It says, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, and only a wicked person will work you to death. You see that? Let me continue. Without time to unwind, so you don't even have time to unwind. Because when you go home, what happens? You have to bring your work. You have to bring your work with you. All right, or you have the thought of you have that big project coming up, or your boss is calling you, saying you did this, you messed up on that. So you have no time to unwind and pretty much facilitate time for yourself. Take care of your home. That's why your home is all messed up, dirty, and nasty. You Edomites got to hire maids to come in to clean up because you can't even clean up after yourself because you're spending so much time working. You're spending so much time commuting to work. Okay, thinking that money is going to give you happiness, when it's really money in this society is a burden because it opens you up to more of wickedness first and foremost, and then you're chasing that lifestyle because once you live a certain lifestyle, you don't want to. You have too much pride to how do they call it, to declutter your life. I forget the exact word. To drop down your standard of living, so to speak. You have too much pride to live modest. Okay? You want to live, you want to have that Benz, that nice car, you want to have that nice house. Your woman is in your ear saying you need all those things first and foremost. So if you don't have that, she's not going to be with you. Okay? You want to look good in front of your friends, in front of your loved ones, in front of your co-workers. All right? It says, take care of your home, spend time with your loved ones. So there's a disconnect within the family itself. Enjoy your hobby, connect with friends, and generally live more balanced life. And the scriptures say that an unjust balance is abomination to the Lord. So even within your life, there has to be a balance between work and stress relief. And that's why you should have a hobby. To brothers out there, you should have a hobby to kind of, pretty much tension release, man. Because all that tension, man, has to go somewhere. If you know anything about energy, energy has to be transferred one way or another. And and your body is pretty much a bowl, okay, which holds energy, whether it be wrong energy or right energy, which goes into spirits. So if you hold that energy within inside of you, that's going to cause you to be sick. You have the spirit of infirmities on you. You have the spirit of a lunatic on you. You be crazy in your mind. All right, that's why so much people have so many cognitive dispositions, cognitive disabilities, man. All right, they're not able to take care of their body. Their body's all messed up. Their legs. You're sitting all the time. I deal with people that their hips are all messed up. They got limps, their backs, and then they gotta take drugs to mitigate the pain. All right, so this place is done. All right, it says stress is the #1 cause of health problems. So your job is the #1 cause of health problems. Not only your job, but that trickles down to all facets of your life, whether it be financially, okay, relationship wise, okay, health wise. I mean, it goes into a lot of different things. Okay, spirituality. It says stress is the #1 cause of health problems, mental and physical. So you see a lot of people with these different diseases. Their back hurting. They got hunches in their back. Their legs, one leg is shorter than the other, so they got a limp because they got a high-rise hip. Because they're sitting in a car commuting 3-4 hours of the day. Then they got to deal with their superiors that are total assholes. So they just got to eat that. And then they have nobody to vent it out to. Because your woman come home, she trying to vent out to you. So you got to listen to her damn problems. Then your kids are all bugged out, going to school. The teacher touching on them. All right, so you people have a terrible life here in America. And there are a few things that stress out on a constant basis like work does. Especially when it takes away from all other things that life has to offer. That's right, and so many people are so stuck into a box, so to speak. They don't know what the hell is going on. So I'm gonna close it up on this scripture over here. What do I have over here? I think I have another scripture somewhere around here, but if the scripture hit me, I forget exactly where it is, but if the scripture hit me, by all means, I'm gonna bring it out. You know what? I think the scripture's hitting me. Spirit hitting me. Let me Yeah, that's it right there. So I'll bring that out. I'll bring that out next. This is Revelation 18:10. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, "Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come." Now this is going into the destruction of Babylon, the great city Babylon, Babylon the Great, which you should know that it's America. You should know this. If you don't know that it's not America, after this lesson, you should be convinced. All right, because there's no other place in the world are as much stressed out as you people here are. Okay, and these third world so-called undeveloped countries, okay, they're better off than you people here in America. They got the Teslas and the BMWs and Honda Civics. And you can go down to McDonald's and get you some food every day, or go down to the supermarket and get you food. Or they have less attack on them than you people here in America have. All right. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Because you Americans supply nothing but merchandise, whether you're consuming the merchandise or whether you're just really, these jobs here in America are just service jobs. Okay? Service jobs in order to buy the merchandise that's being imported from these different countries. Okay? The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and thin and wood and all manner of ivory and manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble, pretty much going into you people being consumers, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. You see that? So America's culture, since its foundation, since it was established as America, has always been predicated on slavery. That's how you build up a society. All right, you don't build up a society where everybody's equal, everybody's free. No. There has to be there's a lopsided, and there's a what you would call a bottom heavy society, where the rich, there's a few rich that sit up top that own everything, and the bottom half of society are pretty much the commoners, though, the people who keep society running. And what they do is they sprinkle you with a little bit of amenities. Are you able to go here? You're able to do this, okay? But pretty much you're still a slave, because you are pretty much the upkeep of America's, the house of America. Okay, let me read a little bit more. And the fruits that thy soul lusteth after are departed from thee, and all the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So life as you know it, that's why people are so messed up in the head, because they have this heavy work culture, but also there's a heavy folly culture in America. That's the only way that you're able to sustain yourself, is that there has to be a heavy folly culture to counteract and mitigate how much working that you're doing. So now you're able to get into all type of wickedness. You're able to. That's why the bread and circuses kick in. That's why food is readily available. You can get food at all times of the day. In other societies, you can't do that. Okay, to fulfill them hormone imbalances. Okay, that's why you can watch sports any time of the day, to give you them impulses of adrenaline, to give you them impulses of them happy, feel good hormones. Okay, that's serotonin. Okay, give you a large influx of what's endorphins. Okay. That's why you can have sex any time of the day, whether it be righteously, really perversely and wicked, abominable sex, to fulfill that flesh. So and to get your mind off of you being a slave, Esau sets up all these different things that you can get into. All right. It says the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment and weeping and wailing. So America is going to be judged for this slave-like culture, predominantly because they put the children of Israel in slavery and captivity. The Lord don't care about you other heathen nations. So that's it on that. That just goes into the destruction of America. You know what? Let me read that, man, because it's one of my favorite chapters. And saying, alas, alas. So pretty much, we're not gonna the brothers in the ministry, man. We don't want to work, man. We be like, man, and you can have a so-called easy job, and you're still like, man, this is pure hell, because ultimately you're dealing with spirits. Okay, that's why these people they're able to work, because they don't have to deal with those spirits. They just got to deal with the physical. All right, they're being controlled. Saying, alas, alas, the great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and every company of ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoking of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Because nowhere else in the world can you come to this city, come to America, or how should I say, nowhere else outside of America can you live in pleasures as you can here in America. If you have that slave-like working mentality on you, can work until your heart desires, until you get that big bag. Okay, and then you can fulfill all the lusts and desires of your heart. All right, but pretty much you people here in America are perpetually in slavery. Why? Is because the bankers set up this system, this fractional reserve banking system, which is all predicated on interest, to keep you as a peon, which is a debt slave. So no longer are you, well, talking to our people, no longer do we have chains on our neck telling us to do this and do that. The chains are taken off of our neck and put on our mind. Then now you're subject to the system, because you have to get a social security card, you have to get a debit card, you got to get a car, you got to get a job, or what? You don't eat. Okay. Proverbs 22:7. I'm gonna end it up on this verse. The rich. This is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the rich is really talking about the elite of the society. All right, you have minor elite, okay, that are in good places, so to speak. But it's really the elite bankers, the ones that really run and make things happen, as far as policy, okay, in the banking sector, in the economic sector, okay, in the trades, okay. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Servant, you're a slave unto the lender. So the house that you have a mortgage on your house, or you're in contract with your landlord. It's all the same goddamn thing. You're subjugated to pay that note, and the only way to pay that note is to work them long ass hours and put your body under complete stress. So you're in a precipitous decline as far as your health, mental and physical. Okay, so in order to keep up this way of living, you are now subject into the lender, the banks. You're subject into the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the elite banking families. Why? Because you want that new PlayStation. You want that new big screen TV. Okay, you want that new car. You got to have that new cell phone. And there's certain things in society that you have to have in order to function. You got to have a goddamn cell phone. You got to have an expensive cell phone. You got to have a computer. You got to have a TV. You got to have a car. You got to have these clothes that they mark up with all these crazy prices. You got to have somewhere to stay. So now you're subjugated, meaning you're a slave. Slave culture is still prominent here in America. That's what it's all about. You don't get no breaks off of work. Okay, it's looked down upon if you call off, because here it is. You call off like, I need rest. Or you know what? Most people don't call off because that work keeps piling up. It's not like it goes away. Not like, okay, I had this paper I had to do. I had this presentation. I had to call these different companies. It's not like, oh, okay, that it just went away. Nah, that work keeps coming. It keeps coming. It doesn't stop. It's a steady flow of slavery. All right, and to take your mind off of it, Esau puts these things in front of your face. He gives you drugs. Okay. He gives you sports. He lets you be a demon. He gives you the internet. You know. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Baha Rakakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders. A great millstone. Honors to you brothers out there pushing His word and choosing sincerity. Until next time, shalom.